It is now time for a brand new request. This is multiple requests all into one. Several people have brought up several characters and different LoudHouse siblings. I wanted to bring three additional ones that for this big giant request. I'm not sure how long this is gonna be, but welcome to the live premiere. We're gonna get right into everything, and we're gonna talk about three additional new siblings, three other sisters in the family: Leni, Lana, and Lola. Sometimes I get the characters mixed up, but just learning more about the Louds. I haven't seen every bit of the episodes in all the seasons. I haven't seen the LoudHouse movie all the way through, and the really Loud House, I think it's called, and more. And I've been watching a little bit of Casa Grandes in the mix. But for this request, if you haven't already known and seen it before, I've done a separate trio. This is my second trio that I'm going to be doing for the Loud House for this live premiere. And you guys can hang out for as long as you want to and chime in on some of the characters that you want to see for this game. If we get more, we got to get something said at once because October is basically almost over. We got Halloween next week, and before you know it, but when you blink, it's gonna be November, and then the next thing you know, it's already gonna be December, and we'll be already heading into 2025 before you know it. And we haven't gotten anything as far as news for this game. What are we going to get? Who is going to get into this game? And if anything, are we getting more characters? It's not the right move to wait till next year to reveal what's next. The time is now. It's crucial, and most people have moved on, and I hate to say it that way. Most people have moved on, and there's a lot of good games coming out and continue to come out week after week after week throughout the rest of the year. It's a lot of stuff to be excited for, new updates and new fighters that people are playing right now at this moment in time, alongside of other games to get excited for with new announcements. So if you haven't seen it before this video, I already did a trio of three other LoudHouse siblings. It was Luna, Luann, and Lynn, all into one as a trio. I'm not saying they're gonna have to fight as a trio, but I did it a little bit differently to cover multiple requests from others that have been waiting to see some of these characters in separate Loud siblings. Instead of making them individual fighters, I wanted to put them all into one of how I think they could play with this new set of trios. So you're going to get to know Leni, Lana, and Lola today throughout this video. And if you don't want to watch the full thing, you could go ahead and close the premiere out. If you want to listen in and lurk, you can. And if not, you can just go ahead and check out the moveset. You can go straight to the moveset for each individual Loud sibling between Leni, Lana, and Lola. This wasn't easy to make and come up with as far as the movesets, and I wanted to make them make sense so it can fit the character, it can fit their personality, it fits who they are from watching the show and getting to know them from clips and different episodes. So that way it's not just made up and rushed. It's effort put into the moveset so it fits the character and it fits how they can play ideally on the battlefield. So that's how I like making these movesets, even if it's not LoudHouse or it's a completely different new show. People could be able to find out my ideas and my take on how I think they could play in this game. Even if they're not a trio, these are some of the moves that I think they're gonna possibly have if they are going to be in this game, or if they get into a different game in the near future, if they go that route. But now let's get into the backstory, which I like to do is talking about the new characters and each character that we have in this game from DLC. Hopefully there is more. From Zuko to Mr. Krabs to Rocksteady to Iroh, they all have their own individual stories that you could play in the campaign, and they have different reactions, so hopefully they'll have those too in this game if they get in. But when it comes to these sort of kind of characters, they have their own stories and personalities. Everyone has a different personality. Everyone has a different background and different things that they experience when you watch these shows. So we're talking all things LoudHouse. We're going to go ahead and head into the roster And I guess Lucy Loud will be the spotlight for this video because she's the only LoudHouse character that we have as a playable character in this roster. She's the only LoudHouse character that's playable in this roster currently. Leni Loud is stuck. I don't want to say he's stuck. He's currently not playable because he's in the background of the Loud Castle, just like a character we already know of. Mr. Krabs, as you can see from the bun wrestling ring, he's in the background, but he made it into the game. So Mr. Krabs can save Leni Loud's life. Mr. Krabs can rescue and basically save Leni Loud and pull him out of the Shadow Realm from being stuck in the background to allow him to be back to be playable in the near future if they choose to bring him back. So Lucy Loud is solo. She's the only lonesome LoudHouse character all by herself. All by her lonesome self. She's by herself and she's representing the LoudHouse. So we're going to keep it on her for a while. We're going to get into the costumes and all that. But let's start talking about the LoudHouse so everybody will be able to get to know the characters and more. Hopefully my controller doesn't die throughout this, but I have my charger just in case. So I should have enough battery. Just in case it dies out, I'll just charge it up. I'll plug in the charger. But at any rate, let's start talking about the backstory. If you have not seen the LoudHouse before, and this show is about a boy named Leni Loud who lives with a family of 10 other sisters. Lucy Loud is one of them, as you guys can see on the screen. There's chaos and all kinds of adventures that go on in his everyday life. Sometimes the show can spotlight other siblings, like the ones that you'll be able to get to see that have their own adventures and little stories and spotlights throughout the episodes, like Leni, Lana, and Lola. They have different things that go on. They have their moments when you go and watch this. All their different adventures are different. The events are always different and different the things that they get into as the show goes on throughout the seasons. You can watch the show. Maybe someone could correct me if I'm wrong. You can watch the show in any order to see what else goes on into the world of the Louds, of the LoudHouse family. What goes on with the Louds? Everyone has their own unique sort of personality. It's so much more that's going on that goes on in a LoudHouse. I just wanted to disable the notifications real quick because I couldn't really see everything that I wanted to put out here. All right, anyway, but that's basically what the backstory is and what the show is about. In a nutshell, it's different. It's about this family. Everyone is always getting into something. Sometimes they'll fight their own siblings. They're all siblings. Leni Loud being the only brother with his 10 sisters, it can get chaotic. But they're close to each other, and certain siblings are closer to more close to others in comparison to other siblings, but they get along. They will fight, and you'll be able to see them argue and prank each other and things like that, play tricks on each other and try to get the best of one another. But they definitely are a strong family. This family is definitely a fun, enjoyable experience when you guys watch this show. The LoudHouse is great. It's just that great of a show. I don't know everything about the LoudHouse like most people do who are LoudHouse fans out there, but this is still one of the best shows that Nickelodeon has ever came out with in this modern day era. It's different now because we didn't have, the LoudHouse wasn't around when Rocco was around. Hey Arnold and Invader Zim, My Life as a Teenage Robot and things like that, Angry Beavers. LoudHouse wasn't around. LoudHouse didn't even exist at the time. So we had these different classic shows around. But that's the backstory of what the show is about. But now let's start talking about her sisters, her other sisters. This is just another set of 3, Leni, Lana, and Lola. Let's get to know these 3 sisters individually and start talking about them. So Leni is the second oldest of the Loud family, of the Loud family itself. She's the most friendly and gets along well with her siblings. She's also not the brightest. She's clumsy, she'll make mistakes, she'll spoil stuff, she'll spoil surprise parties, she'll ruin the surprises, she'll ruin the moments, and she cannot tell a lie. Because she always ends up spilling the beans, and she cannot hold a secret. She always ends up messing things up, and she makes a lot of different mistakes. She has a hard time understanding what some of her sisters are trying to ask her to do. So you'll be able to see that when you get to know Leni. But she's so kind-hearted and kind-spirited. I also wanted to use that to advantage of trying to implement a moveset that you guys will find out later on in this video. Trying to implement a moveset for this character, it took a while to try to come up with stuff. So I had the hardest time, the most difficult time trying to come up with moves for Leni because of her kind spirit and what she does in the show and the person she is with her persona, with her personality. So that's Leni. Moving on to the next sibling, which are the twins. Lana is next. Lana and Lola are the twins in this family who hang out the most. So let's start with Lana. Lana, she loves getting her hands dirty. She's the tomboy of the family, of the siblings. She loves playing in the mud. She loves getting her hands dirty. And she's Lola's older twin. And she really enjoys animals. She loves playing around with animals, giving them a unique name, silly names and stuff like that. And with her love with animals, I also utilize that as some unique ideas for what she can be capable of on the battlefield with these animals. And not just these animals that she loves, they become her pets. Because she was able to bond. Lana is able to bond with the pets. She can even possibly have a chance of bonding with Reptar. You know what I mean? She will definitely be able to bond with some of these animals. And I think she will, if she gets into this game, these guys can definitely come out with more of these characters. Just think about it for a minute. And then we're going to move on to Lola. She'll definitely be very fond of the angry beavers. She would love Daggett and Norbert. She will probably annoy Daggett, but Norbert will definitely take kindly to Lola. Or Lana, I meant to say. Lana loves animals. She will definitely, just the unique reactions with angry beavers, if they had them, because they got to be from the same show, of course. But she would definitely like Garfield. She would love the angry beavers. She will also even possibly like El Tigre because he looks like a tiger. She'll love Rocco. She'll probably mistake him as a kangaroo. Ren and Stimpy, Reptar, and so much more. And she will be able to have a personal connection with Nigel because he loves animals. See what I'm talking about? It's just so much possibility. It's just characters like Nigel and more that I just named. She will definitely like. Even the Ninja Turtles, because they're turtles. Rocksteady. It goes on and on and on with so much more that she'll like. She'll definitely enjoy seeing these characters. So let's move on to the next sibling, the last sibling from this trio, Lola, or his trio. So Lola, she's a beauty queen, and getting to know Lola, I'm just gonna say it right now. I would definitely be a Lola main. I want her the most to be in this game. I want her to join the most out of all the LoudHouse siblings. You could disagree if you want. Seeing how powerful Lola is when she gets really angry with her freakish amount of strength and her power, she's the strongest sibling. She could definitely be one of the best characters. She will definitely overpower Lucy Loud on the field. I definitely want Lola Loud to get into this game. I didn't think she was this strong. You definitely don't want to make Lola angry. I want her to join this game the most. If we get another second wave, if we get another wave of DLC, I would love to see Lola Loud get into this game. So she's not just a beauty queen, she's Lana's twin sister. Lola spends most of her time winning and participating in beauty pageants, her makeup, doing photo shoots, just trying to look good and perfect her looks. She tries to go for anything she wants, and if you don't listen to her, she'll get you back and she'll find a way to come after you. That's just how dangerous she is, and she gets really angry when something is ruined. If one of her belongings, some of her stuff is ruined, she'll get mad and attack her own sisters and destroy them. She gets really heated, and just her anger and just the things that she does in the show, it really made me excited to get this character into the game. I would love to see Lola get picked up for a second wave, even if she's a solo character or a duo, or at some point I would love to see her join this roster. She belongs in this game. I didn't think she had this kind of power. With her fighter potential, it's huge. So those are the three just little backstories of getting to know Lana, Lola, and Leni all into one for this new unique trio. We're going to start speeding through some of these too, so it doesn't drag on for too long. But now we're going to get into the stages. So for the stages, hopefully y'all can still hear me. I'm going to have to double check my audio. But for the stages, I thought about bringing, let me just grab this. Let's back this up. For the stages, I wanted to bring back the LoudHouse. The LoudHouse is no longer in this game, but they went with the Loud Castle, which I love the music. The music is great. Everything from the LoudHouse just has great music. They brought back the Royalwood Cemetery, but it's new and improved. It's different. The tombstones are not even there anymore, which they had in the first game for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. The tombstones are not even there anymore. And in the Loud Castle, this is the newest stage that they added into this game, which was awesome. So we got 2 LoudHouse stages. I'm trying to double check. We got two LoudHouse stages with one character. We definitely deserve to see the LoudHouse return. I love that music from the first game, one of my favorite stages. So I thought bringing back the LoudHouse would be a good idea if we get a new LoudHouse sibling, which could be more than likely for a second wave DLC character pick for a new slot. Now, another stage outside of just having the LoudHouse return, or just bring the LoudHouse back, I wanted to add Royal Woods Middle School, which could also be another ideal location to get into this game as far as new stages. I definitely would love to see that get added if they don't want to bring back the LoudHouse. We've seen stages like Hardcore Chores make its return. SpongeBob's Jellyfish Fields has a whole new, bigger, new and improved look, and it also came back as a competitive stage in the stage variations from its original Jellyfish Fields, and it's completely different. They can make the LoudHouse stage bigger and better with more to explore on their street. You could probably see characters like Clyde in the background, maybe Ronnie Ann. She deserves to be playable too, but it'll be cool to see her as a background character too. Just add more to the stage to make it even more interesting. She's Lincoln's best friend, and they have a connection. So it'll be cool to see them get at it. If Lincoln Loud returns, one of these stages can make an appearance. So those are the 2 stages. So those are the stages that I came up with. We're going to jump into the costumes now. Now, just take a look at Lucy Loud's costumes. I want to go for this one in particular, which is from the Kings of the Con episode, which I brought up often from the last trio that I did with Leni Loud, Lana Loud, and Luann. This is going to be an ideal realistic costume for any of these sisters or siblings that get into the game. So for this, the alternate costumes, each sister with Leni, Lana, and Lola for this new moveset giant request. Each sister, I went with 3 new costumes, and then the mind control costumes are obviously going to be with them because they're part of the campaign, the single player campaign. that every character has gotten that has been DLC. From Mr. Krabs, back it up. That looks ugly and glitchy. That needs to be fixed. It looks silly. Alright, well, let's look, his skins are glitched. That definitely needs to be fixed. But we don't want to use him for example. See, this is fixed. Zuko and Zuko's mind control skins. See, these are obviously going to be in the game for these. That definitely made me itch a little bit just looking at it. I don't even want to click on that anymore. They definitely need to fix this. We need that patch. But we need news for these characters. We got to get some character news too. But see, for these, for every DLC character, I just wanted to show them. Every DLC character has a mind control skin once you defeat them a certain amount of times. I think it was twice you have to defeat them, run into them. If you get lucky enough for them to spawn from the campaign, they'll be able to have their, you can unlock their mind control skins. The first time around, you get this one, and then the second time around, you'll get that one, where it's completely covered for the their skin, for the costume itself. But this costume in particular, I wanted to bring up, and I'll be saying this quite a few times. So we're gonna start with Leni's costumes. I picked the 11 of Hearts costume, where she cosplays as the playing card of Hearts. So this was during Lincoln and Clyde Superhero Fantasy. I did the same thing with Lana and Lola. They each, all three of these siblings, or these ladies, or from the LoudHouse sibling, everybody in the LoudHouse family had their own unique Kings of the Cons episode, where Kings of the Cons costume that they represented a playing card from Lincoln and Clyde Superhero Fantasy. So Leni had the 11 of Hearts. So that's the first costume that I went with. It looks good. And the one thing I want to mention real quick before we get into the final the other additional two other costumes I went with, I didn't want to just pick any costume, because some of these characters from Leni, Lana, and Lola, they had hats, they had glasses. I didn't want to just go with that and be Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 1 all over, the first game all over again. Let's just give them hats and glasses, things like that. Those were just mediocre. I don't want to say it like that. Those are just not good costumes for the characters. Just a hat and glasses. But in this game, they actually have better costumes and real costumes that changes the full character and make them look good and stand out. So the next one, I went with Flamingo Leni. So Leni appears wearing a flamingo costume for Halloween. This is from the Many Faces of Lincoln Loud episode. And then the next final costume, because Leni had hats and glasses, and then her swimwear, I didn't want to add her swimwear costume. It could be something that they could add, but as maybe like a summer pack, they can do stuff like that for some of these characters. It's so much stuff that these guys can do, they're just not doing it. So I went with the next best thing, Leni's winter outfit that looked the best. So Leni wears a pink coat, green beanie, pink gloves, white and pink scarf. It doesn't look red. I don't know why it said it was red. White and pink scarf, and then green winter boots. I could not find the episode for Leni's winter outfit and Lana's winter outfit. Maybe someone out there can clarify where and when they wear this outfit, but I could not find the actual episode when I was trying to list it in my notes from my research and from watching the show. So those are all three of Leni's costumes. We're going to move to Lana's costumes. So the same, just from before, this one again. Here we go. See how she just has a helmet? I didn't want to do that to this trio. She just got just that. That's it. I don't want that being the case for this new trio. So I went with the Royal Flush. As you can see this picture just because we're laughing. But her Royal Flush for Lana, this Lana's costumes. So Lana cosplayed in the Kings of the Con episode, the same little fantasy that Lincoln and Clyde had with superheroes with their siblings. Lana cosplayed as the Royal Flush. So for this card, the Royal Flush is an ace, king, queen, jack, and a 10, all in the same suit. And this was also worn during Lincoln and Clyde Superhero Fantasy, as I mentioned, the Kings of the Con episode. I can't believe she had this one too. I wanted to add this one in. I thought it would be really funny. The Pepper Shaker. Lana wears a black dress with the letter P, a pepper shaker's hat, black pants, and white shoes for Halloween. It's her Halloween costume. And one thing I want to mention, I wanted to use Garfield. These guys are going to definitely go with Halloween costumes. I said this before in other requests for other characters that had Halloween costumes, if any. Not everybody has Halloween costumes, depending on the show. Garfield's Halloween costume is the pirate, where him and Odie were dressed as pirates. So I thought this would be ideal since they're thinking of Halloween and these sort of kind of festive holidays. They're definitely going to add Halloween costumes for these characters. So this was Lana's Halloween costume, being a pepper shaker. This was from the Tricked Halloween episode. And just like I mentioned with Lana's winter outfit, or with Leni's, Lana's winter outfit, she wore a neon green and gray coat, navy blue gloves and boots, and green earmuffs. So it was the same situation with Lana. She had a swimsuit, but I didn't add it into this request for a costume. It could still work, but from Lana, she had I thought it would be silly. She had cow udders as a hat. And I'm not joking. Lana had cow udders as a hat that she wore in the show. So it was just like a balloon hat, something like that. So she wore cow udders as a hat. So I didn't add that, but it was the same situation. Hats and glasses. I didn't want that in my video for today. So I added those three costumes: her winter outfit, the pepper shaker costume for Halloween, and then her royal flush card cosplay. Now we're going to wrap up with Lola's costumes for this, and then we're going to get into the taunts and animations. So Lola's costumes, I went with the Queen of Diamonds. So her card was the Queen of Diamonds, or the Queen of Diamonds, or the card of diamonds. So the Queen of Diamonds costume will be Lola's. It looks really good. You guys gotta definitely check it out. They got some nice costumes in this game. So with this, she cosplayed the card of diamonds. She was Queen of the Diamonds during Lincoln and Clyde's Superhero Fantasy King of the Cons episode again. And then this was one of my personal favorites that I've seen. I went with the Lady Liberty Halloween costume, where Lola dressed up as Lady Liberty for Halloween in the Tricked Halloween episode. So see how I'm using some of the same episodes? Those episodes are definitely going to be ideal references that they get in. I'm surprised they didn't go with Lucy Loud's Halloween costume. What did Lucy be for Halloween? Anybody know? How come she didn't get her Halloween costume? But this was her she was the spades. The spades is from the King of the Cons episode. So this was the only thing that I got in, and then she has a helmet, and then that other one for her fortune telling. I don't even know where that's from. This costume that she has. So moving on to her final costume, her third and final costume, I went with Lola's chef outfit, where she wears a white chef hat and apron in a Living Loud surprise party and Read Aloud episodes. From both of those, you can see her wear that. So I thought those would be more ideal instead of just having her wear a hat and fancy glasses and things like that. I didn't want it like that. So I could have went with color variations, things like that. Change the color of her dress, because she's a beauty queen. She's all about fashion and looking good. They can also go with color variations with this, just like they did with Plankton, but they all have a different expression. It makes Plankton's costumes unique. Different color, different expression. It's perfect. So it's such a unique idea. Those are all the alternate costumes for these three characters for this new trio, with Leni, Lana, and Lola all together as a trio, and I'm gonna have them play together, so I can't wait to get into that. So now it's time for the taunts and animations. So I did a little bit of different things. I want to just go to the campaign, just bring it up on it, just to have it up there, instead of just having it on let me see, what do I want to do? I'll just go to the campaign. Almost clicked on PlayStation Tournament, so accident. Okay, here we go. So I just wanted to bring it up. Okay, this one. Let's put it on this. So the campaign, if you have not played the campaign all the way in full, the characters have unique interactions depending on who you play with, and they talk to the bosses, winning and losing, running off the stage, things like that, and they talk to the boss himself and antagonists, Black Plasmius and Clockwork, and many other characters along the way. They'll talk to Master Splinter, Gary, and Nora Wakeman and more. I wanted to do something different with the taunts and the animations. So with these that I did not do with the other trio is switching quotes. So when you switch between the characters, they're also going to be able to take charge. So they're all going to have their different moves. So depending on who's in front, they'll have different things that they'll say. So I did switching quotes, a special switching quotes for each individual Loud sibling for this mix up. Leni, Lana, and Lola are going to have different things to say. So we're just going to go through them. So for Leni, she says totally a lot when you watch the show. She'll say, when you have Leni active on the field, I'm like totally gonna win this, or I'm totally excited, and then she'll say totes. I'm totes. It's like TOTES. I'm totally excited. It's like slang for totally. I'm totally excited. I'm totally gonna win this. She can say that when you bring her out on the field, and then you switch to Lana. Let's get dirty. It fits her personality. Because she's ready to get her hands dirty. She's going to be ready to fight. She's definitely going to be eager to fight and get into the battle. Lana is definitely going to be a good fighter. So let's go back. And just making this comparison as far as trios. There's no trio in this game. It's duos. Angry Beavers and Ren and Stimpy. But you can't switch between Ren and Stimpy. They're going to have the similar playstyle with Angry Beavers, because when you switch between the Beavers, they have their different moves from Daggett and Norbert. So I wanted them to have that. So I'll get into that soon with the moveset. But they're going to each be able to have playable quotes when you switch them in and switch them out. Just like Daggett and Norbert does when you tag in and tag out. Because Norbert will say, time to fight. That's what he'll say. And I forgot what Daggett says. I think he says, here we go. They said different things. They can do the same thing if they become trios with the LoudHouse siblings. You know what I mean? So trio taunts. The taunts that I came up with these three new siblings. For Leni, I gave her nail buffing. So Leni is found nail buffing in the show, and I thought this will work as an ideal taunt. Lana can pick her nose with a nose pick. Lana can pick her nose for a funny taunt, and she does this in the show. Lola can do a quick fashion checkup to make sure she looks good. Lola doesn't even want to ruin her good looks. She wouldn't even want to fight unless she really has to. So I thought Lola can really be able to showcase her fashion and her beauty, and on the field she can bring her own mirror and straighten her hair. She does this in the show. So I thought these three taunts would be able to be perfect for these characters because it fits their personality and how they act in the show and what they're into based off their interests and the things that they do. Their attitudes, their personality, and they're just the way they behave in the show. Everybody's different in the family. Nobody is the same. That's what makes these siblings so unique. All these different personalities, different interests, hobbies, and the things that they're into, the things that they do. So I wanted to make the taunts make sense. So those are the trio taunts. Let's get into the winning and losing animations. So each of the sisters, Leni, Lana, and Lola, I did winning and losing animations for. Let's start with the winning animations. See, it's different for everybody. And I just like when you pick the characters, they do animations. When you pick them, just different things that they can do. So let's start with Leni. Winning animation, she would do duck lips. It'd be cool to see that, and this is something that was pretty funny to see. Leni can take a quick selfie with her phone in celebration, and she can pose doing the duck lips. People would definitely love to see that. because the LoudHouse fans like that. So I thought that'll be cool to really add in for a cool animation. So they're gonna be in the winner circle together with the winning animation. Lana is gonna quickly chew food and stick her tongue out with the food, with her food on it. Bleh. When she says, "Do you like seafood?" When she tried to do that little taunt, that little prank on Lincoln Loud at the dinner table. "Hey Lincoln, do you like seafood?" Yeah. With all that food, she had chewed food on her tongue. She's just crazy like that. So Lana can do that. Just to tease the opponent, get under their skin. It could work as a taunt. It could work as a taunt. But I wanted to include it as a winning animation. So for Lola, I thought she could strike a beauty pose since she's all into beauty. She could put lipstick on and eyeliner. So for her beauty pose, I thought she could put lipstick on and eyeliner more to prepare for the next pageant. And then for my research for winning animation, since they're all gonna be in the winner circle together, she'll say, "Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the prettiest in the land?" It's a perfect reference for the characters, the LoudHouse fans out there, for the community. I know some of y'all are gonna like this one. It's something that she does in the show. It represents her personality as someone that's into beauty and passion. She's a fashion. She's just always into beauty pageants, and she's always trying to get the spotlight because she loves to stand out and make sure she looks good. She's going to be dangerous on the field. So we're going to get into the moveset soon, because I came up with some unique ideas of how she can play. She's one of the strongest of the siblings themselves, because I gave her some kind of rage induce sort of ability that's going to help her be able to shine on the field. So let's get into the losing animations. So the losing animation, I just want to make sure everything was working. So I didn't want to start all over. But anyway, this is the live premiere. We better keep it going. But the losing animation for these three sisters, that's the winning. We just finished talking about the winning animation. I'm gonna have to check the audio too to make sure everything can be heard. But anyway, losing animation. The losing animation, Leni, we're gonna start with her. Leni can run, scream, and run into a wall and fall down. She's clumsy like that in the show. When she mistook Lana as a monster, she started screaming her head off because she thought Lana was a monster because she had all that mud on her face. So I thought this would be a funny losing animation for her to really get showcased in the game, just for something to laugh at. It'll be cool to show off that the developers can really be able to implement. Running into a wall constantly, tripping over, and just seeing stars. It's so many different things that they can do with her that's a winning animation. Her losing animation. So that's Leni's. We're gonna get into Lana's. So for Lana, just a little bit of some Ren and Stimpy vibes, cause she just does crazy, disgusting things, nasty stuff in the show. She's just wild like that, but she loves getting dirty. So I thought Lana could vomit all over the screen when she loses. She could be throwing up all over the place. It'll be funny to see, but it fits her character because she's always into some dirty stuff, even from the trash, the garbage, and stuff like that. She'll even pick up gum and chew it from the garbage. It's just her character. It fits her style. And I wanted it to make sense. So it's perfect for her to fit this character going forward. So that's her losing animation. So we did Leni and Lana's. I thought I was losing track. So Lola, since she loves to always look good, I thought giving Lola a bad hair day after the battle for losing would fit her. So she's not going to be looking as pretty and full of beauty at the end of the battle. So Lola can have a bad hair day and she can be frustrated and disappointment with a broken mirror on the ground. So now she don't even, she'll be so disappointed. She'll be so disappointed she wouldn't even want to look and see herself in the mirror to see her hideous looks. You know what I mean? So it even was something that happened with Lincoln when he cleaned up the house so well. She didn't even want to see how she looked in the mirror because she was so ashamed of herself, of how she looked from her face. And her makeup didn't look all that great. Her makeup was ruined. So it would fit her character for a losing animation. So hopefully these winning animations and losing animations make sense, because it, from these characters and what they can do and how they act and what they're into, it fits how they are for ideas for the developers to use, just for something that you can really be able to picture them being able to be implemented that way in a winning and losing animation. So my favorite part of love doing these requests is the moveset. I wanted to make this as good as possible. So the moveset that I came up with, I wanted to make sure I wasn't muted like I was for a little bit from the earlier. The moveset, we're gonna start with Leni. We're gonna start with Leni Loud's moves, and Leni gave me the most trouble from creating this trio because of how kind she is, her nice spirit and kind attitude. You know, you got happy-go-lucky guys like SpongeBob that are really nice, but they really made him play well. Leni was giving me the most trouble just trying to put together a moveset for her. For this, I wanted Leni to be unpredictable. Leni can be unpredictable even if she gets in by herself. She doesn't have to be a trio. This is just a expanded idea. Leni can be unpredictable, and this was just so tough trying to implement a moveset compared to the others because she's very clumsy. She's clumsy and she's not the brightest of the LoudHouse family. So some moves that I came up with, just a few moves, and maybe some others can probably chime in if you want to add on to this moveset, you can. So this one, like totally loud, she'll say totes loud, totally loud, just some slang for it, what she says in the show. Totally loud. This is the first move I came up with. Leni can scream at the top of her lungs, knocking back all enemies in front of her, because she's really found yelling and screaming and always in a hurry. And that's what made me come up with the next move. She could be having a panic attack where Leni can scamper full screen in fear, launching all enemies into the air. And something that I wanted to give as a bonus when she's running, because some of these characters don't really have that. While she's running, she'll be able to reflect all incoming projectiles. So Garfield's pies, some lightning bending from Azula, she'll be able to reflect all that and go right through it. It won't damage her. She's going to be able to reflect that. This is going to be a unique move for her because it fits her character. She's always panicking and screaming and things like that. I thought this would be something that she could have, a nice little cool scamper ability that will give her some benefits along the way when you have this ability active. So her next move that I decided to give her to make the most sense, the OMG, the OM gosh, OM gosh is one of her quotes from the show that she'll say, and one of her funny voice lines. I turned it into the name of her move. Oh my gosh, she'll say that. So oh my gosh, oh my gosh. With this ability, I wanted to make this extra special. Leni is feeling extra confident and can give her sisters a defensive protection shield that absorbs 20% of damage. So when I was trying to come up with something different, if you guys played the campaign, there's a perk it's an Invader Zim perk called the Urkin Shield Generator, and at level 5 the Urkin Shield Generator maxes out at level 5, and it will ignore 50% damage and once you hit that 50%, the shield will break, and the shield generator is destroyed. It's an exclusive Invader Zim part that's in the story campaign. So I wanted to give her something like that. The OM Gosh is gonna benefit Lana and Lola to take care of her sisters and fend for her sisters. As one of the older siblings, it'll be nice to see her have this kind of move to get into this game. So I wanted to make this as a trio sort of special for her, to make her a little bit unique. So when she's not just running and screaming at you and things like that, she'll be able to give her sisters a little defensive bonus boost that they'll need, so they'll be able to take some of the hits and it won't really apply to their damage meter. So they'll be able to absorb 20% each of the siblings. So it'll be a shared ability, so that way it's balanced. So this will only be able to apply to one sibling, that one particular sibling that's active on the field. Just like, for example, if it was on Dagon and Norbert, if Norbert was on the field, he will only be able to take the 20%, but then it's going to be shared. So let's say, for example, Leni was out on the field, she takes 10%, and then you magically you decide to switch over to Lana or Lola. That's going to be next on the field, they're going to only be able to take the next 10% damage, and then the shield's going to break. So I thought that would be a cool little ability. That way it's balanced. So that way, well, it's a new sibling out active on the field, I gotta at least do over 30%, start doing at least over 30% damage to them for a combo, and try to get some damage on them to break that shield. You won't have to worry about that, because that's just going to be a little bit overpowered. So I thought it'll be a shared ability, so whoever's active on the field can receive that 20% and really be able to nullify that the attacks. So once you hit that 20%, whoever's active is going to lose that shield, and even if you switch, they'll probably only be able to take that remaining 10% until the shield is broken, until that defensive protection shield is broken. So I wanted to get something taken from the campaign, because none of these characters have something like that the developers didn't implement. So I wanted to do something a little bit different. None of these DLC characters don't have something like that, a defensive protection shield. So I thought OM Gosh would be a funny, silly ability, but it's going to be very helpful when you play as Leni. You can even switch to Leni to activate the shield and switch out after a little bit of a brief period. You could switch her back out, bring out Leni to use this ability to get your protection shield, and then you can start bringing out the offense between Lana and Lola. So it's time to start talking about the other two sisters. Lana's turn is next for the moveset. So with Lana will be able to bring all the mud she wants into the battlefield for offense. So with Lana, with her love for mud, that's how I used it for some of her abilities. So she's gonna have some projectile attacks. Who has projectiles? It's a good amount of projectiles. I guess Zim would probably count. And then Plankton as well. Danny Phantom has some too. In a minute, let's have Plankton on the screen. So with Lana, she's going to be able to utilize her mud, and it's going to be in her moveset. And I think they can definitely do this for Lana. So Mud Pies, a projectile attack. Lana can throw piles of mud at her enemies. Her next move, Mud Wrestling. It's her favorite way, as she admitted in the show. Mud wrestling is her favorite way to stay fit. So I utilize that as a move that she can use in the game if she becomes playable. Lana can lunge forward to grab and throw nearby opponents and toss you right out the map. So she'll be able to rush you down and then toss you right where she wants to. You can throw them where you want to. You could throw them up into the air, left or right. It's definitely going to be handy, and it could be something that could be used for some of those competitive players out there. It could be good for edge guarding. So you can time that mud wrestling technique, be able to grab your opponent and throw them right out. And right when they try to get back in, it can also be used in the air. It can be used to really pressure the enemy to hope that you miss this technique. So I wanted to make this similar to Patrick's counter, but it's not going to be a counter move. It's going to be an automatic. It's going to be a move that she's going to have as a grappler. It's a grappler move that's going to be able to throw you off the stage. So I thought this would be something that she can be able to use. Her next move, Mudzilla, a nice little reference from the show when she was trying to scare Lola when she was doing her makeup. Mudzilla's gonna, ruin your makeup when she was trying to play jokes on her because they get along so well. So Lana, with Mudzilla, with this ability, Lana can stuff her face and body into a perfect pond of mud and gain super armor for a limited amount of time. I thought this would be something unique to give to Lana. This is Lana's exclusive. It doesn't work on anybody else. She won't be putting mud on Lola or Leni. It's only going to be exclusive to Lana, so she gives herself super armor. This is definitely going to be something that I think players will really like to use if it gets added. So Mudzilla is going to really make her scary, and she's not going to be easy to approach because she's going to be able to take hits with all that extra super armor like Reptar had at the time. So her next move, before we move on to Lola, Loud combo, 2 points. Because she'll say, take down 2 points. It also tied into her mud wrestling when she said that. She'll say, take down 2 points. I wanted to call it a move that, but I wanted to do this next move with a combo attack. Loud combo, 2 points. Lana can attack with a 3-hit combo, and then she can be able to charge up her fist to deal a final blow for more damage. So I was going to do take down 2 points. They could probably definitely call the move that from the moveset or from the move list, because every move has a different name that refers to different shows and things like that. So she can definitely have take down 2 points, but I just put Loud combo 2 points. So that was Lana's moves, and then we did a little bit of Leni's moves, so in her special techniques. So we're going to move on, last but not least, to Lola's movesets, and then we're going to get into the trios recovery move that I came up with, and then we're going to finish with the ultimate, or the super, because they're called supers in this game. So Lola, I gave her a makeover. Her first move, makeover. So she's going to be able to use her makeup and her rage. I definitely wanted to make her really strong. Makeover is her first move with a projectile attack. Lola's all about beauty. She's going to be able to throw makeup products that feature lipstick, eyebrow pencils, highlighters, bronzer, and more across the field. And I gave this same move, I'm just going to be open, when I created Carlotta's moves from the Casa Grandes for someone's request from a while ago. I did the same thing with her makeup as projectiles, but Lola's is going to be a little bit different. So I gave them different variations with Carlotta's, but this one is just going to be completely different with her projectiles with attacks of being able to throw makeup for Lola. Her next move that I really came up with, her tiara rage. So tiara rage, Lola becomes angry after her tiara falls off. I think this would be something that can be, I haven't seen this done for none of these characters for these games, and I wanted to tie it in with Squeaker's anger, but it's going to be different and it's going to play a lot stronger because it's going to trigger as the battle goes on. So with Lola's tiara rage, she become angry, and after you hit Lola a few times, after a certain amount of times, with receiving a certain amount of damage, it made me think of Aang's avatar state that he gets from the first Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, where he'll be able to use the avatar state, but I wanted to make it a little bit different, so maybe she could take like 50% of the damage to really get this off. They'll have to play around with the balancing part. So with this tiara rage, Lola only gets it when her tiara falls off her head. And it's just how she acts in the show. You definitely don't want this happening, because she's going to definitely get this flaming aura. I wanted to come up with that with this move, with the special technique. So once Lola's tiara falls off her head in the middle of battle, she receives a major increase in the power of her attacks and movement speed. And it's going to also combo with her Raging Fury technique, where Lola can release a flurry of rage-filled punches up to 10 hits. And with this combo, with her rage, TR rage, this is definitely going to be even stronger because all her attacks are going to deal more damage. Lola cannot move during this animation, so if she misses you with her Raging Fury punches, or her Raging Fury that I call this other technique, she's going to be vulnerable, so you'll be able to attack her and you'll be able to punish. So when she misses her Raging Fury, you can punish her and be able to attack her. So you definitely don't want to, you want to make sure that she doesn't hit you. I almost got about 5 minutes before I hit the maximum. This is going to be long, so I'm going to try to speed through this. So her next technique is Starstruck. This is definitely 55 minutes. I can't believe this. I'm gonna try to hurry up and go through this. Starstruck, she'll be able to stun her enemies up close, freezing the enemies. And then the trios recovery, I'm just gonna try to speed through because I'm running out of time. I call it the Trios Recovery Go-Go Boot Crash Course, where Leni takes the wheel of the car in an attempt to guide her younger sisters to safety, but crashes the car right onto the stage. So it made me think of Gizmo from Multiverses a little bit, because he has the car and he can control it, and then when he crashes, he can ignite the car and it'll explode. So a little bit of some Gizmo vibes, a little bit with his car, and a little bit of Ren and Stimpy's, but a little bit different and more dangerous because it can explode. So those are the attacks. Those are the rest of her moves. Everything else that y'all want to read, I'm running out of time too. From the limit. This is definitely the longest video. It's gonna explode from the car. So that's the Go-Go Boot Crash Course, and I took that reference from Driving Miss Hazy episode when Leni was trying to learn how to drive with her driving manual and things like that. Go-Go Boot was something that she would use as a keyword to go, to press on the gas, you know, put the pedal to the metal. So let's get into the ultimate attack, and we'll just run through these. For Leni's, it's called Spreading the Love. For Lana's, is the Pet Summon. And then for Lola, it's Lola's Wrath, where she's going to be able to go crazy. So let's start with Leni. Leni can stun all enemies with her love and kindness. The closer they are to her, the longer they'll be immobilized by her loving spirit. A little bit of Princess Peach vibes that I got from that, from Smash Bros, but something different. So it represents how she's a kind character. I got 3 minutes. Lana's Pet Summon. Lana can call upon her friendly pets that she befriended through the show. The frog Hops the frog, Duncan the rat, Charles the dog, and Stella the bad bunny, who's the most violent of her pets. So I thought that's going to be a lot to deal with. It's Sibling Mayhem. That's the name of this ultimate. And then, well, this trio's ultimate. In Lola's Wrath, where Lola's eyes turn into flames when she's really angry, she's definitely going to be crazy. And she has a huge fit of rage. Destroy all of your opponents and teach them not to ever make Lola Loud mad ever again. So that's the full moveset. I knew this was going to drag on to a really long video. So let's go back real quick for the final 2 minutes. The final 2 minutes to close out. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Everything's going to be in the description. I just had to speed through the rest of her moveset. But they got all the, I'm just gonna say this for the final 2 minutes. They got all the characters in the world to be added into this game. We don't need characters like Iroh just clogging up the roster with these avatar characters. Let's go back to the roster one more time for the final 2 minutes to close out, because I reached the cap limit, at least for the setup. But we don't need characters like, we gotta get other characters in the shows, of course, but with Lucy Loud being a solo rep, one of these characters for the LoudHouse is definitely probably gonna have a chance to make an appearance in the game. I'm not sure who they can go with, but they got all the options in the world. When you have you got a household of 10 sisters with all unique personalities and characters and fighter potential, they can definitely be able to get into this game. But we don't need too many all LoudHouse characters crowding one pack for a season pass. They can come out with them one after the other, but we need some other shows to get in. They have a good amount of chance, a good amount of time to be able to add more for this game. I really hope there is more, but I'm not sure if we're gonna get more, because these guys have not said anything and they just been so quiet. They have to come out and say something at some point in time. Only got a few seconds. What do you guys think is going to happen? Who would you go with from this trio? I'm not saying they have to play as a trio. I wanted to make it a big giant request for several others requests all into one with 3 different new LoudHouse siblings with so much potential that'll definitely be able to sell. They will sell well, of course, and they will also be able to play different, and it makes them special and different and unique all into one. What do you guys think is going to happen? Hopefully we can get some news. The patches will not help this game. Yeah, it's going to fix stuff, but we got to get actual content and character news.